Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Rabbi.
How are you, Frank? How are you doing?
All right, thanks. Baruch Hashem. Well, thank you, Rabbi. Well.
Good. Baruch Hashem. I'm happy to hear that. I see there's more people joining. Let me just admit all of them. I want to admit everyone. Hello, Marky. How are you feeling?
Rav.
How are you feeling?
Hashem, and you? Good, and you, Rav?
Yeah,
Baruch
you look
Hashem.
good. You look good. You look good.
You look
Good.
better.
You're feeling better. I told you, it will take time, but you're going to feel much better. It's just a matter of time. It's time. Good. Okay, so I'm going to start the show. Let me just see here 1 second. I'm going to go to the show back. Okay. I'm going back to the show. I don't know where I am here. I think that I lost something here once.
Huh?
I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Is everyone can hear me? Is everyone can hear me now?
Yes, Rabbi, we can hear.
Okay, good. Okay, so we're going to start. Thank you, Isaac. How are you, Isaac? Are you well?
Yes, Rabbi, Baruch Hashem.
Good. Okay, so בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. רבותיי, tonight we're going to speak about Tu Bishvat. As you all know, today was Tu Bishvat. And בעזרת השם, today I'm going to try to go to certain things that are going to help us. Just before, I need my list for certain people that we have to say. We're going to speak about number one, why Dafka Tu Bishvat? Why do we have to have a New Year's for the trees? Why Dafka and Tu Bishvat? And from there, we, Be'ezrat Hashem, going to compare it to the Parsha. And then I'm going to move on to compare it to a human being. And then we're going to go what our mystical Rabbi explained to us. What is so special about the festival of Tu Bishvat? So I would like to delegate the show in honor of Esther Kaden Bat Ketzia, Mordechai ben Rahma, Harav Avraham Chaim ben Eliezer Yaakov, Tamar bat Zeava, Shulamit bat Avraham Eliezer, Yaakov Salomon ben Farha, Dvorah Ruth bat Beila, Shosha Blima bat Mordechai Betzalel, Miriam bat Moshe, Malka Regina bat Joya, Keti Gurgia bat Farha, Nishmatam tiyeh tzrura b'tzur ha'chaim. Also in the health of Liora bat Miriam, Menashe Naji ben Farha, Harav Avraham ben Marima, Rav Shlomo Yehuda ben Dalia, Rav Moshe ben Dervora, Rav Moshe ben Bahia Batia, Chaya Miriam bat Rachel, Orna Bluma bat Miriam, Sheina Keila bat Hana, Mordechai David ben Leah, Tzvi ben Hava, Shmuel Meir ben Shosha Blima, מרים בת זלדה ליבה, משה אברהם בן חנריבה, חיה ציפורה בת רחל, איילה עדן בת רבקה, וטובה ליבה בת רחל, וכל שאר חולי עמו ישראל, במהרה בימינו ולהצלחת כל עמו בית ישראל, בכל מקום שהם. Okay. The Gemara in Masechet Rosh Hashanah, in page 2, folio 1, tell us, there, first of all, we have to explain, there is a mahloket. There is a mahloket between Bet Hillel and Bet Shammai. According to Bet Hillel, the festival of Tu B'Shvat should be on the 15th of Shvat. According to Bet Hillel, we say Bet Hillel, according to Bet Shammai, it should be Be'alef B'Shvat. So we see that the mahloket between Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel, when is the festival of Tu B'Shvat should be on what day in a month of Shvat. They both agree that it should be in a month of Shvat, but which day? We know Le'alacha it's been pasken, like Bet Hillel, that it's Tu B'Shvat. Tu B'Shvat is the 15th of Shvat. And we have to understand really what different to us if there is a New Year's for the trees or not. What difference does it make to me, the individual, as a Jew, that if there is Rosh Hashanah Laylan or no? What difference does it make? What's the application here? What is it trying to tell me? That I'm celebrating a New Year's for the trees. What is the Hidush here? Why do we have it? So we have to understand a very important thing, that in our Torah, there is certain law that call Orla and Trumot v'Maasot. That means that the Torah tells us that there is certain thing about what called Orla. What is Orla? Orla, that you're not allowed to eat from the fruit for the first 3 years. That means from the moment that you plant the tree, you have to count 3 years, okay? Or from the moment that you see the tree, the fruit growing, you have to wait 3 years until you can eat it. That's called Orla. Then we have the law of Trumot and Maasot. So Tu B'Shvat actually come to tell us, to help us to work it out, okay? When is the right time that we can eat from the, number one, from the Orla, when we can eat from the Trumot and the Maasrot, and how to give Trumot and Maasrot, and when to give Trumot and Maasrot. And that's the idea why we have this festival that called Tu B'Shvat. That's on a pshat of the Dvarim. On a pshat of the Dvarim. Be'ezrat Hashem, I'm going to bring what our mystical rabbi explained. Why do we have Tu B'Shvat? The second question that we have to ask ourselves, why did Hazal tell us that Dafka, the festival of Rosh Hashanah Lailanot, that means the new year for the trees, have to be on Tu B'Shvat? Why not any other month in a year? Why Dafka Tu B'Shvat? What's so special about that month? So Hazal in the Gemara in Masechet Rosh Hashanah, in page Mem Gimel Amud Bet, that means 43 folio 2. Listen what Hazal tells us. Hazal explained that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu told our sages and revealed to us the secret that when to choose the festival of the new year, you know why Dafka Tu B'Shvat, why Dafka in a month of Shvat, and why Dafka the 15th of Shvat, that's Tu B'Shvat. It's number one to tell us that in Tu B'Shvat, most of the rainy season in the northern hemisphere already moved away. Now, Tu B'Shvat is been decided according to the land of Eretz Israel, because we know now it's winter in Eretz Israel, but most of the rainy season already moved on. That means the rainy season almost finished, and the ground is full of moisture, full of moisturized. It's completely have enough water in the ground to help the tree to grow. And what's usually happen, that soon you're going to start seeing the buds coming. That means that in Tu B'Shvat, we can start seeing already the beginning of the growing of the tree, okay? That means that it shows a new era in the life of a tree. And that's why Dafka Tu B'Shvat being chosen. We promised at the beginning of the show, I'm going to try to connect it to the Parsha. First of all, we have to understand that Tu B'Shvat always fall around Parashat Beshalach. Sometimes, it's not often, but sometimes it's fall also in Parashat Yitro. But most of the time, usually, it's fall on Parashat Beshalach. What's the connection between Parashat Beshalach to the festival of Tu B'Shvat? That means the New Year's of the tree. What's the connection? Where? How can we find? So, Rabotai, we know that we read in a parsha yesterday that when Bnei Israel left Egypt, they arrived in a place that's called Marah. They arrived to the wilderness, and in the wilderness was a place that they call it Marah. Marah is bitterness. That means after Bnei Israel arrived in Marah, the water that they took out from Egypt finished. And when they arrive in Marah, they find water, but the water was bitter. And what happened there? Bnei Israel complained to Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu obviously asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu what to do, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him something extraordinary. He said, you see that bitter tree? Take a stick from it and throw it into the water. Take a bitter stick, throw into a bitter water. Each one of us will say, wait, what's happening here? If you take something bitter and you throw to a bitter water, it will turn even worse. It will become worse. Gonna get more bitter. But the idea is that Hazal explained it's exactly that. That sometime in life we have difficulties. And that's the next thing that I would like to get into it and to compare what Tu B'Shvat come to teach us. So the Mefarshim say like this. Moshe Rabbeinu took the stick and he threw it to the bitter water, and the water turned sweet and the nation can drink from it. It's come to give us idea that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, number one here, tell us that he come to teach us that even in the tree, okay, that at the moment look dead, okay, and there's no benefit from it. The same like the water in Marah was bitter, and you can't see any good coming from it. We're not going to have any benefit from it. You have to wait a bit. You mustn't lose hope. That means that the message here is not to lose hope. That's what Hazal come to teach us. That the message of bitterness, okay, it's the same like the naked tree. That at the moment, the trees in Eretz Israel and Tu B'Shvat, they're naked. It doesn't look like there is any hope. It looks like nothing gonna grow. Wait, that the spring gonna come and you're gonna start seeing the buds, all the buds on it flourishing. And then you're gonna see the beautiful flower that's coming from it. And then you're gonna enjoy the fruit. And that's the idea. And how is that? We can compare it to us as a human being. And here comes the mystical rabbi to explain to us how does it work. Hazal tell us in the Sefer Dvarim, in chapter 20, verse 19, Ki ha'adam hu etz hasadeh. The man is a tree in a field. That means a man is a tree in a field. What does it mean a man is a tree on a field? Okay, that's the question. And we're going to bring different ideas for us to understand, and then we'll go. Adam Moetzadeh, the men compare to a tree. A tree needs to connect to the soil, to the ground. Without, if you take a tree out of the soil or out of the ground, it will die. It said the same thing like a Jewish person. A Jewish person, if he's connected to Torah, if he's connected to Yiddishkeit and mitzvot, he's alive. His neshama is lighting. His neshama is alive. But when a Jewish people not connected to Yiddishkeit, maybe he's alive, but he's dead. His neshama is dead. That's one comparison. Okay? The same like a tree need water to grow, to stay alive. A person in physical life need to drink water. But the Jewish neshama need the Torah. The Jewish neshama need the Torah. To survive that difficult time that a person have in his life, and we're going to get to it, what it means difficult life, need to study Torah, need Torah in his life, and Yiddishkeit. Okay? The same like the tree, okay, need a support at the beginning of its growing. That means that the sapling, when it starts to grow, you need something to support it, that it doesn't fall. A person also, a human being also need a support. What does it mean? A support of a Talmid Chacham, a support of a rabbi, to direct him, to give him the way that he should go, where to go and what to do. The same like a tree grow up, also a human being grow up. What does it mean grow up? Upwards. But it's also a person that want to grow up, they have to study Torah and Yiddishkeit. Not only that, the same like in the end, a tree that bring the fruit and you get the benefit from it, that you eat it, that you enjoy it. A person that study Torah and know Torah have to teach it to other people. And that's the comparison between a person to a tree. Now we have to understand, why do we celebrate Tu Bishvat? Now I'm going to go to the next stage and we're going to start understanding the other side of Tu Bishvat from a mystical point of view. So we have to understand that by that we're eating dry fruit in Tu Bishvat, you have to understand the fruit that we're eating, it's not the fruit from that year, it's the fruit from previous year. So most of the fruit, it's usually, okay, come from previous year. They're not fresh fruit. They're not fresh. You have to understand that. And there is a secret behind it. It's come to teach us few things. The first thing that I would like to understand, to explain, what is the mystical saying about the fruit that we're eating? And we have to understand that there is three kinds of fruit, and the mystical rabbi compare them to the three different worlds. We have the world of action, that's called Olam Ha'asiyah. We have the world of creative, that's Olam HaYetzirah. And then we have the world of creation, that's Olam HaBriyah. And there is three kinds of fruit that can fit with those kind of world. And we have to eat from each one of them. And why? Because we have to do, Rabotai, rectification. The student of the Ari Kadosh, the Maharhu, Rabbi Chaim Vital. Rabbi Chaim Vital, he born around 481 years ago, plus minus, okay? He explained something extraordinary. Listen what he said. The Maharhu said that the main reason that we're eating fruit is to do rectification to the sin of Adam HaRishon. What does it mean? Adam HaRishon eat from the tree of knowledge. We're eating fruit to do rectification for the sin of Adam Arishon. So all of you are going to ask, wait, what do I have to do with Adam Arishon, with Adam? Adam was 5,783 years ago. Each one of us have a spark of Adam Arishon. Every human being have a spark from Adam Arishon. To do rectification for the sin of eating from the tree of knowledge, explain the mystical rabbi that we have to eat, we have to have a festival that's called Tu Bishvat, and we have to eat fruit. And some of the fruit that you're going to eat, it's going to be a fruit that they dry fruit from previous year. Dry fruit. What is the idea? So first of all, let's explain the three kinds of fruit that we have. For the world of action, there is certain fruit that we eat the inside and the outside we throw away. For example, banana. A person eat a banana, an orange, what does he do? He peel it and he eat the inside. That's called the world of action. Also the same with pomegranates, men. So by that we eating the inside, it's like the world of action, olam asiyah. By that we're doing action in the world. That means working, creating, doing things in the world. Then come olam hayetzirah. Olam hayetzirah, it's the world of creator. That what do we do here? That a matter of fact, we eating the exterior, but the interior we throwing away. For example, dates. Take dates. You take the pips inside, you throw it away. The same like we do with olives. When you eat olive, what do? You take the pip out and you eat the exterior of the fruit. Okay? The same with apple. When a person eats the apple, he doesn't eat the middle, he eats all around. And in the middle, he throws it away. That's called the world of creative. That means that here we're doing rectification for the sin of the creative. That means we rectified everything that maybe, has v'shalom, we harm in a world of creative. Then come the final thing, that's the world of creation, that we eat the fruit incomplete. There is certain fruit that we eat them complete. For example, strawberries. For example, fig, that we eat it incompletely. That means that those fruit that we eating and we said a bracha on them, we're doing rectification for everything in this world that need that we has v'shalom, maybe we cause damage, okay? Because the damage, when I say damage, it's averot. Damage is averot. That we mean by that we done sin has v'shalom. Maybe we done certain averot to it, and now we have to rectify. So how do we rectify those three worlds? By that we're eating three different kind of fruit. That's how the mystical rabbi explained. Also, Hazal ask, actually the Zohar also bring it, the Mishnah in Masechet Rosh Hashanah in chapter 1, Mishnah 1, say that Rosh Hashanah La'ilan. That means that Tu Bishvat, the 15th of Shvat, it's Rosh Hashanah, it's the new year, La'ilan. What it mean, Ilan? One tree. So the Parshim say, wait, I don't understand. We have only one kind of tree. We have many trees, different trees there is in the world. Fruit trees, different trees that we know. Why Dafka is say Ilan and not Ilanot? Rosh Hashanah la Ilanot. No, it's a Rosh Hashanah la Ilan. So we know that many people say that in Tu Bishvat, and when I used to be kids, one of the custom was to take sapling and etc. and we plant them in Tu Bishvat. That was the custom. Well, what's the hidush? What's the hidush on it? We have to understand what's hiding behind it. Why is it se'ilan? Why is it se'ilan? So the Zohar HaKadosh explains something extraordinary. He come to tell you that in Yom Tu Bishvat, Rabotai, listen to that. Yom Hamtakat Dinim. It's the day that we can sweeten all our judgment against us. That means if a person have a judgment against him, and I will explain what does it mean, judgment. Because all the time I say judgment, and it's never occurred to me until today to explain what is it, judgment, and today I will explain. So the Zohar HaKadosh said that Tu Bishvat, it's a day that we sweeten all the judgment if there is any judgment against us. What does mean judgment? First of all, so the Zohar HaKadosh explained that when people have difficulty with their health, with their wealth, with parnasa, people not feeling well, people battling to find a shidduch, people that can't have kids, for example, or people battling with chinuch yaladim, with the education of the kids, and etc. That's called dinim, judgment. That means HaKadosh Baruch Hu giving us a bit of hard time. Said the Zohar HaKadosh Tu Bishvat, it's a day that you can turn the judgment and sweeten them. That means that you can erase them. How do you do that? So say Chazal like this, and that will help us to understand. I mentioned that we're eating in Tu Bishvat dry fruit, okay? And the dry fruit come to tell us, represent difficult time. The fruit that we're eating, it's usually the dry fruit from previous year. Say the Rabbi Tzadok HaKohen Miluvlin. Rabbi Tzadok HaKohen Miluvlin born around 200 years ago, okay? And he born obviously in Poland. Lublin is in Poland. And he said that by that we're eating dry fruit in Yom Tu Bishvat, it's come to tell us that in Tu Bishvat, the same like thing is difficult, but from now on, thing will change. Will turn on. What does it mean? And we'll get to it. How the luck gonna start actually coming. And we're gonna sweeten all the judgment against us. He said that in Tu Bishvat, by that you're doing, we take the fruit and we sing bracha on the fruit. Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, bore pri ha'etz, bore pri ha'adama, and etc. By that you're saying those brachot, it's come to tell you that there is certain neshamot, certain souls that been reincarnate inside the fruit. By that you're doing the brachot, you actually fixing them, that those souls get to the final place, because when you say the bracha on it, you uplift that neshama. And when is the time to do it? All year round, but especially on Tu Bishvat. Why dafka Tu Bishvat? Because it's Tu Bishvat come to teach us something very important. You're eating the fruits from last year. Maybe you have a difficult year last year, but this year you can change it. It's up to you to change it. It's up each of us to change it. And we'll explain also how to do it. Chazal explained to us something very important. Chazal tell us a very important message, and we have to understand that from Tu Bishvat, and actually I'm going to bring the opinion of Rabbi Chaim Mitzanz. Rabbi Chaim Elberstein Mitzanz, he born in Poland, plus minus around 226 years ago, plus minus. He say, if you take Tu Bishvat is a day that we don't say Tahanun. We don't eulogize. We're not allowed to fast. We'll go through that halachot soon. He said, look, if you count every 2 weeks from Tu Bishvat, you'll see that you have a day of joy and happiness. And Tu Bishvat is a day of happiness. Take 2 weeks from there, you reach to Rosh Chodesh Adar. Rosh Chodesh Adar, we're not allowed to fast, we're not allowed to eulogize, okay? And we don't say Tahanun. And to Be'adar, that means the 15th of Adar, it's Purim. We all know it's Purim, Shushan Purim. Again, a day of joy and happiness. 2 weeks after that, we have Rosh Chodesh Nisan. After that, 2 weeks from there, we have Tu Benisan. That's Pesach. Rabotai Pesach. Again, we have a beautiful time. So he said from here, you have to understand, say, Rabbi Chaim Michans. Rabbi Chaim Michans saying that from Tu Bishvat until Pesach, the end of Pesach, you'll have every 2 weeks joys and happiness. It's come to teach us a very fundamental message here, that now a person can change his luck. How? By that he's connecting his neshama, by that the tree, connecting himself to the soil, that the soil is the Torah, because without Torah, okay, our neshama gonna die. And Rabotai, I would like just to share with you one other thing. We all know that during the winter, if it's in the southern hemisphere and the northern hemisphere, it doesn't make a difference. The tree usually empty. The tree hardly have even leaves. You don't find even leaves on a tree. And when you look at the tree, you actually feel sorry for them, because you're saying to yourself, those trees gonna die. Why? Because you said to yourself, listen, there is no hope. But it's come to teach us by that the tree, when the spring start to come, you start seeing the leaves growing suddenly, the buds growing, the flower coming, and in the end, the beautiful fruit. It's come to teach us very important thing. Each one of us, sometime in his life, feel very down, and he feel like nothing's moving. Thing is difficult, thing is hard. Wherever he tried to turn, he feel like nothing's moving. And I'm sure that each one of us have this feeling sometime in our life, okay? Some people have it more often, some people have it less, but in general, we have this feeling. Rabotai, Tu Bishvat come to teach us not to lose hope. Tu Bishvat come to teach us that, look at a tree. There is a certain time in the life of a tree that is completely naked, completely empty. There is nothing on a tree. But you mustn't lose hope. You must never lose hope. Why? Because it's come to teach us that after every downhill, there is an uphill. And after every uphill, there is a downhill. To teach us Tu Bishvat, the fundamental idea behind Tu Bishvat Rabota is to teach us that is not to lose hope, and always there is a future. It's up to us, okay, to work on ourselves and to uplift. That means Tu Bishvat come to teach us that even when a person gets to the bottom, you have to understand that from now on, there's only growing up. What does it mean? Sometimes people do mistake. Sometimes people find themselves in a situation that they can't really understand. How did I get there? You make a mistake. We all make mistakes. We're human beings. But the idea is to think that Tu Bishvat, HaKadosh Baruch Hu come to give us a festival, said the Mekubalim, the mystical rabbi, the Kabbalistic rabbi, that you have to look at Tu Bishvat. When I say look at Tu Bishvat, I'm referring to Eretz Israel, because there is a winter when the tree is completely naked. and he doesn't have hope. You don't think that he will even have fruit. Oh, this tree doesn't look like, doesn't even have leaves. You want it to have fruit. Mandachar Shemeh. Hazal Seno. Look at that. Akadosh Baruch Hu given us this festival to teach us that never to lose hope. That Tu Bishvat come to teach us that even if you go right to the bottom, never lose hope. Now it's the time to grow. The same like in Tu Bishvat, the tree is empty, there is nothing. Just wait another month or two, and you're going to start seeing everything change. Everything change, everything growing, everything suddenly become beautiful. The leaves coming, the buds starting to grow, and then the flower of the fruit coming, and then finally, the fruit himself. So the message is for us is not to lose hope, Rabotai. The chokhmah is that remember, ki ha'adam hu etz hasadeh. A man being compared to a tree, never to lose hope. Now, I would like to move on to one more step. Remember we spoke about dry fruit. We say that the dry fruit is from previous year. The dry fruit come to teach us very fundamental idea. That sometime in life, people cannot disconnect them from the past. Hazal come and tell us, Nachon, that sometimes you can't disconnect yourself from the past. The past is the old fruit, the dry fruit that you're eating, the old dry dates, the old dried figs, whatever is it. It's come to teach you, Nachon, that it was last year. But remember, there is a new year. When is the new year? It's Tu Bishvat. Tu Bishvat is a festival that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us for rectification. That means that you can change your luck in Tu Bishvat. The mystical Rabbi explained there that if you know what to say, the Rashi Tevot, the acronym of each verse and each there is on each acronym, if you know how to put them together, it's doing a rectification, but it's not for us. We're not Mekubalim. We're simple people. We can do complete rectification and we can reach to a higher level of happy and joyous. The same, like from Tu Bishvat, every 2 weeks, there's a day of happy and joy. That's what a person has to remember. That those dry fruit maybe was last year. Look forward, look to the future. Things can change. I would like to move on and to speak about certain halachot that I think that applicable, that I'm just done here more on a depth, the idea or the virtue of Tu Bishvat. I would like also to touch on certain halachot tonight that applicable to Tu Bishvat. So as you all know, the day of Tu Bishvat, we're not allowed to say Tahanun. We don't say Tahanun. Even in Minha, before Tu Bishvat, we don't say. I know that it was Shabbat yesterday, so we didn't have to say Tahanun. But in general, if Tu Bishvat doesn't fall on Motzei Shabbos, if it fall on any other day except Sunday, we don't say Tahanun and a Minha before, and we don't say on a day of Tu Bishvat. Tahanun, we're not allowed to eulogize, and etc. That's according to Rabbeinu Gershon and Maharam Mirotenburg. Okay, there is a question among the poskim. What's happened if a groom, Hatan and Kala, getting married and Tu Bishvat? That's a thing that it's a beautiful thing to do to get married on Tu B'Shvat. What's happened? Because it's a custom, that's Ashkenazi custom, the Sephardi doesn't follow this custom. Do the Hatan have to fast on Tu B'Shvat? Because why is the Hatan fasting? The Hatan fasting to do atonement to all of his sin. On a day that he gets married, Hazal tell us in Yerushalmi, in a Talmud Yerushalmi, that when a person gets married, or Lele Gdula, okay, HaKadosh Baruch Hu take all of his sins and actually put it on a bottle and he closed the bottle. Okay? So the Shala of the poskim, wait, is a groom should fast on Tu B'Shvat or not? So I saw the Magen Avraham, Rabbi Avraham Abli, born around 238 years ago, plus minus. He born in Lita, and most of the Aharonim that they say no. A Hatan, if he get married on Tu B'Shvat, should not fast. What do you learn from it? You learn how important is Tu B'Shvat, that it can do atonement that day himself. But if obviously, if we keep it in Pidusha and Tahara, a person in Tu B'Shvat can do atonement to all of his sin without fasting. Unbelievable, the day of Tu B'Shvat. Okay, there is another thing that it's a custom that in Tu B'Shvat I mention it, that to eat wheat on Tu B'Shvat. It's gula for parnasa. Also, there is a custom that on Tu B'Shvat there's a special prayer because it's Rosh Hashanah La'ilanot. It's the new year for the fruit. And in Sukkot, we buy the 4 species. So if a person want to get a special etrog, a beautiful mehudar, a etrog, he should say the brocha on Tu B'Shvat, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will send them a beautiful and mehudar etrog on Sukkot. That's another custom. There is another custom that people should study Mishnah and read the Zohar, not to study Zohar, just to read. Even if people doesn't know how to read the Aramaic and make mistake, it's not a problem. To read Zohar and to study Mishnah on Leil Tu B'Shvat, that means last night, people should do limud, beside obviously the seder of eating and eating fruit, okay? And to learn the law of Tu B'Shvat. That's brought by the Magen Avraham, Rabbi Avraham Abli, and the Kaf HaChaim. Kaf HaChaim, it's Rabbi Yaakov Sofer. Rabbi Yaakov Sofer, born, he was the student of Rabbi Yosef Chaim, the Ben Ish Chai. He brought it in his book, Kaf HaChaim. Kaf HaChaim is a book of halachot. It's a book of halachot that explain what all different laws. And in there, regarding Tu B'Shvat, he said that it's good and Tu B'Shvat night, that means if we look at it last night, a person should study Mishnah, also learn the halachot of Tu B'Shvat and to read Zohar. I say read the Zohar, Rabotai, and please just read it. Don't try to get too deep into it. Just read it. Okay? Also, there is another minhag, okay, that Hazal teach us that to say shehayanu on certain fruit on Tu B'Shvat. Okay, so we have to remember those halachot. So if we summarize what we learned today on a pshat of the Dvarim, the main reason that we have the festival of the new year of the tree is to know Dine Ma'asrot, Dine Orla, Dine Truma, okay, the law of Orla, when is the 3 years from the day that the fruit come, when we planted the tree, the law of Ma'asrot and Trumot, I don't know how you say Truma and Ma'aser in English, if there is a word to it, that's on a pshat of the Dvarim. But on the mystical level, it's come to teach us that the opposite. Tu Bishvat is a day of happiness. It's a day of joy. It's a day of atonement. It's a day that we can learn that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us another chance to elevate ourselves, to uplift ourselves, to grow up, to be a different tree. Not only that, it's a time that we have to understand that it's a day that HaKadosh Baruch Hu actually sweeten all the judgment, that the person himself can change himself. He himself can sweeten his own judgment. How do we do that? And here's the point. A person can change his luck and Tu Bishvat by that he have, number one, to take on himself. He said to himself, and everyone know the difficulties that we have in certain thing in our religion. For example, a person that doesn't eat kosher or never eaten kosher before, now it's the time by that he take on himself, from now on I'm eating only kosher. What's happened in the past is the past. I never kept Shabbos. Now I will keep Shabbos and I will help other people to understand what is Shabbos, to help them to keep Shabbos, and etc. I'm just giving two samples. There's an example. There's many other examples. A person that used to do certain things that the Torah tells us not to do. I don't want to go to details. If he take on himself in Tu Bishvat, he focus and he change it, there is Hamtakat Dinim. What it means, Hamtakat Dinim? HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us another chance to sweeten our judgment against us. And you have to understand that when a person feels pain and agony in every organ of the body, it's because that organ is sick, Hazal said. Obviously he's sick. Oh, what's the head? Hazal said no. The mystical rabbi said no. This spiritually to every organ in the body, that the mitzvah, that you don't do it properly. When you do it properly, you can rectify and you can cure the pain of that organ. And that's the Hidush. So everyone himself know which mitzvah he's battling, which thing is hard for him. And Hazal tell us, those that hard for you to do, those the one that you have to work on. Those the mitzvah, those mitzvah that difficult for you to keep, to do it, that's it's the mitzvah that you have to work on. Listen to that great Hidush. And that's the message here. How do we sweeten the judgment? By that each one know what you have to work on. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give us the wisdom, will give us the energy and the strength to work on those things that we're battling for, those things that the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, doesn't allow us to go over it. And if we do it, and we do it properly, and we do the mitzvot properly, and when we daven properly, HaKadosh Baruch Hu then will sweeten all our judgment against us. And by Ezrat Hashem, we should merit, all of us, to see speedily the coming of Mashiach Tzidkenu and building of Bet HaMikdash. Amen, Ken Yehi Ratzon. And if there is any question, now is the time to ask. Bechavot. Any question, Rabotai?
Yes, Rav, good evening.
Oh, you're with us. I missed you.
Been with you from the beginning.
No, I missed you, and I actually was planning to phone you because I didn't see Jeffrey there.
No, I've been here all the time. Yeah, thank you. Oh,
I
Chris
missed
didn't
you
want to.
on Thursday.
Yeah,
I did miss you. We all missed you on Thursday.
Ah, right. You know,
Yes.
Ro, we talking about the comparing man with a tree, and that when its tree is connected to the ground, it doesn't die. You know, the most amazing thing with a tree, that if you cut a tree down, you leave it lying there, and it can be rejuvenated. It can be actually brought back again. You can actually replant a stick from a tree and it'll grow again. It's what you were telling us tonight about that we may be missing out on a lot of things that we should be doing. And if we can rejuvenate ourselves and we get more connected with Torah, we can bring ourselves back again. That's the most amazing thing. And this is, I think, the message, one of the messages you've given us tonight, that not to lose hope. Don't think that you've because things didn't work out and you haven't done things right, don't give up. Hashem has given us a big opportunity now to come back and to regrow and to revitalize and re-energize ourselves. And just like we see a tree over in the wintertime, we see this tree is bare and it hasn't got any leaves, and it said, but we know the tree is going to come back. We know it. So we should also know that if we do Torah and we bring ourselves back, it will help us and we will be rejuvenated and we will become a different person, even though it's the same person, but from a new angle and more growth, and which Hashem has given us the opportunity today to do. So this tree is something that we can really relate to in every single, and it does. It actually never dies. You can actually plant it again and regrow it again, even though it looks dead. Even when it's fell down, you can chop it down and you can put the sticks back in, and it'll grow again. The connection to the ground
and you can relate to it.
Yes, I can
Jeff,
relate.
you definitely can relate to trees. You can explain to us a lot about trees because that's your business.
Yes.
No? Yeah. And I'm sure that you enjoyed the show because we spoke about something that relate to you very much.
It resonated, yes. It's amazing. That's what a beautiful hug. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a beautiful hug. You know, you look at it, if you look at it on a pshat of the dvarim, on a simple way, yes, it's looked like we need to eat fruit because it's the festival of the new year of the tree, so we have to eat from the fruit. That's the pshat of the dvarim. But if you look what our mystical Rabbi given us, the message that they're giving us, and what's hiding behind that it's a day of joy and happiness. And we're not allowed to say tahanun, not to eulogize, not to do tanit, not to fast. And if you look, every 2 weeks we get a day like this. It's unbelievable.
Amazing.
It's a day that we actually starting to grow. And that's the message of Tu Bishvat. Shukwa.
Thank you. Thanks, Rav.
Pleasure. My pleasure. Any other question, Rabota? Any one of you want to ask any other question regarding Tu Bishvat? No question? Adam, you ask something,
Rabbi,
Adam.
Yes,
How are you,
hi.
Adam?
I'm good, and you? Thank you. It was
Hashem.
lovely. I'm sorry I joined
Thank
a
you
bit
for
late. But
joining
it was
us.
great.
I missed you.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you. Just what you mentioned that Tu B'Shvat was last night, but am I not right that it's tonight and tomorrow?
No, Tu B'Shvat was today.
It was today.
Yeah, because we didn't say Tahanun. No?
I don't know why, because I've got on my calendar it says today is the 14th of Shvat.
It's tomorrow, Rob.
Yes, you're right.
It's
You're
tonight and tomorrow.
You're right. Actually, it's my mistake. It's tonight and tomorrow. It's tonight
wonderful.
and tomorrow. Sorry.
Wonderful.
You see, we're actually doing it in the right time. So my mistake. Thank you for correcting me.
No
that
problem.
from tonight, very important to eat and to study Mishnah, to study Zohar. If you want to sweeten all the judgment for a person that want to find a wife, a person that was battling to have kids, a person that had difficulties with his health. Thank you, Mark, for helping us. Sorry, Marky, thank you. This tonight and tomorrow, Rabotai, this is the time that you can change everything. And people don't realize it. What is Tu B'Shvat? People think it's a day that we eat dry fruit or we eat fresh fruit, whatever it is. But it's not. Tu B'Shvat, it's a day that you have to understand that we can sweeten all the judgment against us. People want change in their life. Tu B'Shvat, it's a day that we can change. And from Tu B'Shvat onwards, every 2 weeks, a day that we have joy and happiness. It's unbelievable. Where do you find another festival? It's unbelievable. Adam, Shakoach, Mark, Shakoach for correcting me. I was actually mislead the day. I didn't work it out properly. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Any question that you want to ask regarding Tu B'Shvat? I hope that you enjoyed the show, first of all. I hope that it's bring you a different meaning regarding what is Tu B'Shvat. No question? Okay. If there is no question, I would like to wish you all Chag Sameach, a beautiful festival, a lovely festival. Enjoy Tu B'Shvat. When you eat the fruit, you have to remember that there is 3 different Shakoach. Mark, you're already ready, huh? You're ready. That is 3
I'm eating now.
different. Good. There's 3 different rectification that we're doing. About 3 different rectification that we're doing. There is Olam Asiyah, the world of creation, the world of action, and the world of creativity. So by that
Rav,
we're eating those fruit, and when you're saying the brocha, we actually doing a rectification for the sin of Adam HaRishon, that we all have a spark from his neshama. And if we done the proper rectification, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will send Mashiach. And that's the secret. Yes, Mark, you wanted to ask.
Does a tomato count as a fruit?
Okay, there is a shaila if tomato is a fruit. Tomato is not a fruit. Siach Rav Shnati. What it's Siach Rav Shnati? Siach Rav Shnati that it's grow all year around. Tomato grow all year around. Okay, why did I mention dry fruit? Because there's certain fruit that they have what we call it seasonal fruit. You with me, Mark?
Yep.
That you can see them a certain season. For example, the orange usually it's nachon that it's acidic, but it's only in the winter. It's not a summer fruit. Nachon that in summer we have a lot of acidic fruit, but orange, it's also quite a bit of acidic there's on it, and it's usually a winter fruit. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah. What my problem is, you mentioned a fruit that you eat inside and the outside. Most fruit
you mean
you only eat the
yes.
outside because they all have
You're
pips.
talking about incomplete, to eat it complete, nachon?
Yeah, like a strawberry, but we don't have strawberries at the moment.
Okay, so but if you look beside the strawberry, what else there is that I mentioned? What other fruit that we eat it completely? We eat it all complete besides strawberry. No.
That's right. That's what I'm wondering. I'm not sure.
We eat.
Rabbi, you said dates. Dates. Did you say dates?
Not dates. No dates, Frank.
Dates have got a pip.
Wait. Not dates. Te'ena. Te'ena is a fig, for example.
Oh, a fig. Yes, fig. Okay.
A fig. I mentioned fig. Okay.
I don't think you can get figs at this point of the
I think that you can get dry fig.
Dried figs maybe, but fresh figs not likely.
Okay, Adam sent me a message here. Berries. We eat the berries completely. Nachon?
Yeah.
Berries, we eat them completely. You know what else? Cherub. You remember? Carobs.
What?
The carobs. 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 You don't know what is it, the carobs? You remember the story that I mentioned? The carobs is a very dry fruit. Okay, it's a brown on the outside, and if you eat it all inside.
Oh.
It's
Okay,
usually
thanks, Rob.
so there's few fruit that you can eat it to eat them complete. There's no problem. Strawberries, nachon. Now it's although you can get strawberries.
Yes,
I
we
got
have.
strawberries.
Yes.
I think that if you go to Woolies, you can get strawberries now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you can say Adama on it. You have it's. Yeah. There's a seder. There's a seder that before you eat, you have to read.
Thanks, Rob.
Okay.
Mulberries.
Okay.
Mulberries eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. Also, yeah.
So what happens if you buy a canned fruit, like a canned mulberry or a canned strawberry? Can you eat those as well? Or does it have to be fresh?
Well, what a difference. This is just been put through a process. The same like a dry fruit that been put through a process. If you take mango, dry mango, the dry mango gone through a process. Nachon? You agree with me? If you take,
That's what I'm good.
you eat dry fruit, if you eat raisin, raisin, it's gone through a process to dry them.
Yeah.
You can eat dry banana, for example. I'm just giving ideas. So what difference does it make? As long as it's a proper fruit, that it's a fruit. It's not like 90% chemical and 1% fruit, like people usually do with the jam. If you take jam, you can't consider it because it's 90% sugar and maybe 1% or 0.5% of a fruit. No, that doesn't consider. But what you're talking about fruit in a tin that usually you give to the visitor, and you can see the shape and you can see the fruit. I hope that's what you're referring to, Mark.
No, I was just wondering because there's not too many fruits that you can eat whole that don't have a pip in them.
Yeah.
Most fruits have a pip or they have skin. So there's very few fruits that you can just eat the whole thing, like a strawberry.
For example, tonight I eaten a berries. And I said, you follow. You can get berries easily at Woolies. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Wait, these grapes that you can eat them full. Grapes without seeds, seedless grapes. Yeah, it just came to me now. Nachon?
Yeah. True.
So you can get them also at the fruit shop.
At Woolies. You must be working for Woolies, right?
I'm maybe gonna get from them some advertising. Maybe I get some money back from them.
Yeah, you get a commission. Thanks, Rob. Great share. All the best.
I hope that you enjoy it, guys.
Did enjoy it very much.
Thank you a lot. All the best. Thank you. Bye. Have a good night. Guys. Thank you for joining. Hope to see you on Thursday. All the best. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.